Welcome back, Kingsmen. I hope you guys are all doing well. Today, I have a special treat, a core battle. Now, I know every time I say special treat, it's just another regular Napoleonic Total War battle. But this one's a little bit specialer, more special, however the English is. I'm actually playing in this one, which is, I usually don't play in the ones that I show, mainly because I'm just terrible at the game, so it's, it's kind of embarrassing, but this is no exception. I don't do the greatest, but I have some great teammates. Actually, everybody on all sides. This is with the NPL server, and we have an awesome, I'm going to go full speed, an awesome core battle. We are going with the Austrian Russian cores going up against a core of, I'm going to have to do the research. I'll put the core in the description if any of you are interested. We have the Grand Armée, you have Muret. But this is an awesome 4v4, guys. It is just, this map, I love the super green forested maps. It has a city, it has rivers, it has everything you could desire in a tactical battle. And it is just, if you look, it's just the whole length. I mean, we're only missing way over here. Let's look at the army comps real fast before any stuff gets off. So we have this first faction, which is Cathcart, Hanover, so it's like a mix of England, Sweden, and Russia. You have just Austria, 2 units of just Austria, and then me going as a Russian-Austrian faction. Bringing just a mix of infantry, which I'm not even going to really try to go over, but, you know, it's a typical Austrian-Russian faction. I have some grenadiers, some light infantry, some cheap infantry. Of course, you have to bring your heavy, cav, dragoons. I'm bringing some 3-pounders, which are already opening a fire on the French position as trying to scare them off from scouting on my side. Now, I have an excellent kind of boundary. I have this river that goes all the way down, which I love, and I'm going to set up and kind of capitalize on that. It's going to slow them down from crossing over. Over here, it looks like Austria is pushing into the town. France was this Murat. I probably butchering that. He had just cav. He had a core of just cav, and he was the one holding the town, which is very unfortunate. So he pulls back, waiting for the infantry. Over here we have the Grand Armée sending across his heavy cuirassiers, and this Hanover faction kind of pushing up to this river. I think our plan was to kind of maybe distracting force, and this heavy bulk of the army was going to punch through into the town, with Hanover kind of being the flanking force. Now, not a whole lot's happened, of course. Austria's kind of taken the town, still waiting for stuff to pop off. Now, I'm shelling blindly just because I want to see, what's over here. I can't really see it. I'm kind of sending my light cav over. I think I'm trying to make sure he doesn't flank around here using my lights. And taking this LOC, and I'm going to kind of hold this lock with some heavy grenadiers. I'm going to put some other grens here, and I'm kind of just forming up right here. Not a whole lot here yet. No one's really forming up any battle lines, as it were. People just kind of still filling each other out. Now, of course, I think Austria has realized their hussars are pretty light to be trying to take this city. We don't know what the French are going to plan. Are they going to amass over here and hit me? Are they going to take the town, which is their most viable option? They have a river that's going to make it super difficult for us to cross over. And of course, there's rivers everywhere. I love the river crossing battles. You have all these strong positions. Now we have France creeping over here, bringing some hussars. There's no cav defending this infantry, but these guys are British, so they can form square. And that's going to be super important. I think France has realized that, and he's not doing anything yet. Starting to see a little bit more from France. We see some light skirmishers. We see the hussars. I think he's setting up his artillery as well. I can hear him. And I was actually listening a lot. It's the only thing you can do. You can still see a lot of cav. This core has all this cav in the center, just kind of waiting. He knows better than to get caught in a congested city. I'm also pushing up cav over here. They want to kind of take this area, but they can always fall back to this river crossing if needed, which is what I love. Me, I don't got a place to fall back unless I fell back to these hills. So I'm still kind of pushing over some lighter cav units, kind of making sure he doesn't try to push across. It looks like he's going to try to skirmish me right here, so of course I'm preparing for that. I'm getting up my 6-pounder cannon as well, just kind of moving up my 3-pounders as well. Going to probably try to get a good position here, try to fire in upon them, try to knock some cav out of the way. Took another building here, an excellent position. And honestly, guys, I don't know what happens on this side. I was so distracted with my side of the battle, I never saw this side. So I'm very interested to keep an eye out for this. Looks like they set up some artillery, some 3-pounders, who are going to start to shoot at this cavalry. It actually looks like they've killed some of their cav, as they have some cannons placed in these woods, probably hidden. Some 6-pounders. Going to start pouring in on these cav units, forcing them to withdraw a little bit. We're starting to see a little bit more. It looks like France is finally pushing into the town. Some French line infantry. I'm starting to reform once again. I don't want to give France a chance to push up and take the side of the river. I want to fight that river crossing. I have some lights over here who, unfortunately, I didn't pull back in time, and the Chasseur Cheval just charged into them, and I lose them instantly, because, you know, they're just for scouting, guys. They're not meant for anything else. That was my bad. I should have been paying attention. Multitasking, you will notice, did not do very well in this battle. Over here, still not a whole lot. I mean, the French have actually kind of pushed. They probably are going to hold over here. If I were them, I'd hold right here. It's a perfect vantage point. You have some trees to kind of shelter you, hide you, but also, if you put artillery in the trees, it's going to slow down their rate of fire. So you got to consider that when putting, you know, artillery in forests. You may want to put them in, like, you know, in between the trees. Now, Austria is forming up here. They've pushed some guys across to kind of meet up with this Hanover faction. The Cather, I believe, right? I'll just call them the Cathcart faction. We got infantry forming up here. They have artillery pushing up. I hope they have some cav guarding that. They've kind of pushed across on this side. Not a whole lot over here. The center's kind of weak, but it looks like they are shifting over a lot of infantry. Got some grenadiers. Those are guys going to do well. Some just Dutch infantry. More grenadiers. Over here, these artillery are getting focused down by the French artillery. Now, I think France really wanted to get these guys off the field, but it is very difficult, guys, to get rid of artillery. It is really difficult with other artillery, of course. Now, I'm starting to see all this French infantry going across this swamp, and what I wanted to do is not let them just waltz across into the city. I didn't like that. Also, France is starting to form up over here. They're starting to take the town back. We had taken the town, and now it's going away. It looks like they actually routed some... What? They routed some artillery. That is a huge victory. That is a very lucky shot. Like, you want to talk about lucky shots, like 1 in a million shot. That is it right there. Knocks one artillery, kills a ton of them. Now look at this, guys. I saw a juicy target right here. He has tons of them. They're crossing this swamp. And I was like, come on, hit these guys. This is the best target I've ever seen. I don't know if I do get a couple of decent hits, but that's when I think I begin to push up. I want to take some shots off on them. He has Cav, of course, pushing to defend his river crossing. Very wise of him. Defend his skirmishers. I think he sees my artillery and he's going to try to go for them, but of course I have some lancers who immediately I push up, and of course he falls back. It's kind of going to be going back and forth on that side. Now we have a general over here. Yeah, I'm not sure what he's doing, but some infantry obviously are probably advancing this road to engage Cathcart. General was getting some backfire from them shooting these guys. I have some cav here, but of course France is starting to push over here with their superior cav. I mean, I don't have a ton of cav. I'm trying to be able to support my allies, which this cav may be best help over here to support. Alright. Game crashed, guys. We are back, though. So as I was saying, before I got interrupted by the game deciding, to go bye-bye, pushing up to intercept these French units as they're marching into the town, because this is a massive reinforcement that the French need. And we kind of wanted to push up, but we couldn't, unfortunately. I'm still kind of holding this left flank. We have some cav over here, staring down some French cav, but France is definitely got the higher numbers here, which very concerned. I'm shifting over my heavier cav, and you can see we're starting to get a formation of sorts. We're starting to get lines. Looks like some cav is going forward, going for an engagement. The King's Legion Light Dragoons. Unfortunately, that's probably not going to go very well. Probably was scouting and just got caught out. But it looks like there may be a cav engagement of sorts here. Yep, it looks like a Cathcart is going to be pushing over some more cavalry. This is some odd pathfinding. But now we're going to... Oh, wow, they broke them. That is a shock. So now France is amassing up on this center. Cathcart actually is pushing across the river. That's a very strong. They also have some cav over here going for the guns, getting charged by some more dragoons, which they're going to definitely rout them. Infantry. Oh, some cav going in for these lights and flanking around on this side here. This is a huge, huge win if they can get some of these skirmishers off the field. At the same time, all this infantry is going to be running up. This is a very risky move for Cathcart. As France is going to be pushing up a lot of infantry. Maybe it's best to hold the river. They do have some reinforcements coming up here, so maybe he's going to try to hold this side of the river so they can't just push and probe on this flank. Very interesting to see how that goes. They have some infantry, some lights firing on them in this house, have some calves still slinking around the side. Still not a whole lot happening here, just some artillery duels. Over here's where the action is going on. And this formation is looking slightly messy, as it looks like France is actually going to try to outflank them, maybe go for this lock, and this is a concern. Cathcart is getting flanked. They're out a little bit out of line here, and this is bad. These guys are going to get flank fired. They may have to want to reform their line as these guys are just massing up. I can't remember if he dropped at this point. I think someone dropped from the game. If I'm remembering correctly, yeah, I think this player dropped from the game, which is very unfortunate. So now we are, taking on 4 players with only 3 of us. Over here, France is definitely formed up here, doing an excellent job of guys hitting in the trees just in case he tries advancing. My cav is starting to get chewed up. This artillery is still trying to do what damage they can. And guys, actually, if you look here, I am getting some crazy, crazy hits on this infantry. I mean, I am just obliterating them with my artillery. They begin to have to hide because they were just getting blasted to oblivion. His artillery still doing work on me. Cav is around here and I can't scout him out, so it was very, very bad. Over here, Cathcart is gone. Yeah, he dropped. The AI took over and did a mass charge, which is very unfortunate. But, that's the nature of these games. Like, look at that. They're just running. So now, I believe this is chainmail. Maybe not, but one of our other teammates, he's taking over on this side. He's got the difficult job of holding a riverbed, and he's shifting his whole army over. We have another army right here, and I am stretched along this whole side, as you can see. And now it's just an artillery duel of sorts. We have these 6-pounders firing down, trying to take out some infantry. I'm trying to choose the best infantry. I think my artillery is still able to hit these guys at the weird angle they are in. But this is bad. This whole left side is extremely weak. The thing is, I was nervous about sending my cav over here because, the forest is hiding my men. They're not getting killed. So it's kind of a lull in the fighting. Just kind of sitting, watching artillery go in, just plowing into these infantry, slaughtering them, as this is the first bunch of infantry just annihilated. We have a general. I feel really bad if somehow this guy didn't drop. He just had some bad pathfinding issues. I honestly can't remember. Either way, it's alright. So Austria forming up there, ready to hold this ridge. He's got his artillery in position. This artillery, I'm telling you, this artillery is going to do some major work on this French line. He's got his the blue pants infantry setting up some stakes to defend. Some cavalry from France, it looks like, is going in for some artillery, but they're going to get stopped before they even make it. And there are definitely lights going up against some dragoons, I believe, and some hussars, and they're going to definitely get destroyed. He's setting up some reinforcements at the same time. Good job reading the battlefield. And he's going to break France right here. If I'm not mistaken, oh yeah, he did another charge, or attempted to do a charge. I managed to get my artillery out of there. It was super, super risky. As you can see, I almost did not make it. That was a well-placed cav charge, which just didn't work for him, unfortunately. So I still have my artillery, but they're stuck in this position now, so at least he stuck them, so if they have to fall back, I can't advance my 6-pounders. Now, I know he has cav here, because I saw him earlier. I'm worried. Yep, there they are. So he's sending up a lot of heavy cav. They're amassing on my side. They can turn my whole flank. I do have some guys that can form square, but they are kind of in the back. There's like 3 of them, and I'm pulling those guys forward. I see the cavalry, and I know I'm in trouble. I know it's a really, really bad situation for me. Over here, Austria's still holding. Actually has gone all the way around, ensuring they don't get flanked. Good job of reading the map and knowing where to attack. France is actually falling back a little bit after this bloody battle. They are falling back and letting artillery and cav kind of start duking out. Over here, France has made a solid push for the town, trying to protect this flank. And this is going to be a problem. Austria either has to fall back from this good position, or they're going to have to advance and attack along this whole wall. But the problem is I'm not advancing to attack yet because I don't think I got a strong position. Now, I do have cavalry and infantry. However, that is going to force my infantry out into the open. As you can see, these guys have been hurt by artillery already, and his artillery is going to start making my infantry pay for it, unfortunately. I'm trying to watch over here as he's starting to sneak around the whole flank. And this is a problem for me, and I am starting to shift my cav back. I think my allies are starting to shift over some other cavalry as well. France falling back from this area. I think they just can't handle this strong Austrian position. Austria has an amazing position here, even sneaking across the river and charging. Oh no, I'm going to miss it. I'm going to miss it. So France went in for a cav charge out of nowhere. I did lose my cannon and was not able to form square with most of my guys. These guys can form square. Thankfully, I was able to sort of stop them. Over here, he's starting to charge me, and this is where my multitasking failed, guys, unfortunately. I was able to hit them, but he's going to hit me from multiple sides at once, and I'm going to break on this side. I did break his cav here. I had some guys who could form square, and I'm in panic mode at this point. I'm starting to shift over cav. I did not read the battlefield well enough, and here comes France. He does not have this. I'm going to... Oof, this is going to hurt. So my cav is gone. His cav is starting to push majorly, hitting some of my lights in my line infantry, and I'm starting to get a little bit concerned. My guys taking form square way in the back lines. His heavier cav is coming in, but thankfully, here comes my ally. My ally is coming in, saving the day, charging these guys, and I think he realized that he was going to get stuck out. Thankfully, my guys, I think, start getting some volleys off, shooting them, and we've kind of protected the rear. My guns are still here, still firing at France over here. My men are still hidden in the trees, but this is a problem. France is all around my back. They are all the way around. I'm actually shifting over some infantry. I'm starting to multitask a little too much, and I'm having to consolidate my forces, find the guys that can actually form square, make sure that they're back here to defend. His artillery is starting to really punch holes in the back of these guys, and I'm pulling up the guys that can form square. Over here, Cathcart is still making some pushes. France is falling back. France actually hasn't made some major gains right here. I think they're kind of worried to push and extend because these guys have the river. And actually, it looks like they may be trying to push up. They may be trying to push up here and see what happens on this flank. If they can push this flank, then they may have some massive gains. Now, I'm starting to put my infantry so they're hidden by this building so that artillery can punch them. I do have my heavy cav, and some lighter cav, which I do believe I start turning my artillery around to see if I can't get some kills on them. Because I mean, I'm still shelling this town. These poor people inside this town. Over here, France falling back. They have no inclination to push this attack. It's a very strong position. They're falling back, and I think they're going to let the town fight itself out. Whoever's going to win is going to win in this town. Now, they don't know it, but this is a very weak spot for France to try to make a push. Of course, I could always swing down there, but then I could get my flank turned. And right now, France is just hovering on my back, which I, of course, do not like. I think I'm turning my artillery around, seeing if I can't get some good shots. I still have some infantry. These guys are hidden, and they're going to hopefully play a crucial role if he does try advancing. These guys are hidden. He's not going to know it. I can stop him. That's my thought process there. I'm over here now. My artillery has just enough of a hill to be able to shoot down upon them. Over here, it looks like France is kind of fallen back. I'm not sure. I think they're maybe trying to shift over another army, trying to see if they can't push. I think they're trying to find a chink in our armor, because we have a very strong position. We have the hill, we have the grove. Austria is sending over some more cav to help me out. We got some artillery now firing on these heavier cavalry, and I'm getting my heavy cav in position to go head-to-head with them if that happens. Now, I'm also trying to make sure I see if France tries pushing out here. They couldn't hit these artillery. Now, as you can see, I am doing some work to these heavier cav. Austria has some cav over here, so what I should have done here, because it's not what I did, unfortunately, I should have attacked and let him flank. I have the heavy cav here. I have a really good unit of heavy cav. These cuirassiers, and then I have some lighter cav that can go in for flank charge. Most of these are beefy units. Instead, he goes in for it, and then I charge. Still don't want to miss any action over here, but nothing really happens. I think we kind of sit here and wait. And someone has to make a move. His cav, I think, is starting to get get out of range of my artillery. I think he's realizing that's a very bad idea to be so close unless you're committing. In artillery, they want to go for cav. If there's one thing you want to go for. He also has his general right here, which I think, no, his general right here. Look at this. Murray. His cav general is right here, and yes, I did try to go for a snipe. I'm not even ashamed of it. I had to take the spirit of this French army out. They had to go away. And plus, guys, they have they have an eye on the whole back lines. They can see what we're doing. That is the problem. That is a major problem. We don't want them to see what we're doing. Oh my goodness. Over here. Okay, good. I was worried for a second. Those guys running. Still holding strong, holding fast. We have a general kind of falling back a little bit. My artillery's still going in. I think my three guys who can form square are advancing. Now, I'm hoping he attacks them, but I don't think he's going to be that stupid. I think you can't give him more credit. And it looks like he's actually going in, which means I need to go in right now. And the problem is I can't multitask to save my life. Because at the same time, look what's happening. I'm trying to defend my artillery that was well choreographed all at once. The beautiful thing is my infantry were able to shoot him to pieces. My cav, unfortunately, I was multitasking. They did an amazing job of pincering me all at once. My artillery may be lost here, but somehow they break instantly. Now, my cav goes in. I'm charging him head on. At the same time, I'm trying to multitask over here because France is pushing. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, France makes a push. And I start panicking. I'm not going to lie. I started panicking here. I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to come in here. I got cav here. I have my cav engagement over here. My lights just broke. But thankfully, my ally comes in clutch. Coming in with some heavier cav, just charging the backs as my heavy cuirassiers hold them in place. And this is what you want to do with French heavy cav. He charges them, but he gets back charged again. He does take out one of their generals, but we hold them here, guys. Thankfully, the Allies' flanking charge does it, but here comes France. Now, France, I talked to them afterwards. He did not know I had all this infantry here until it was too late. He'd already committed, and then he saw him. Now, my artillery is still here, I believe. No, they're not. They did break. Okay, so we did break them. Now, my infantry over here, unfortunately, are scrambling. He's going in for a flanking charge. The force will defend my flank there. But I'm going to try to go for a volley here. And this is a mess for me. I am scrambling. We've taken care of the back flank, but here he comes. Now, at the same time, France also starts pushing for this building, starts doing a bayonet charge. Austria pushing them back, firing as they push. And we've decided we're going to push. Allies coming over to help me out. And I make a push. Now, I got infantry that are getting cav charged, but this is forced, so this is going to help me a lot. As you can see, I have my cav coming up. I have infantry that kind of... a lot of it broke, but I still have some of it. And he tried pushing for this infantry, but I have some reserves, thankfully, that are coming to help. If they can just hold on long enough, they are pouring some volleys into this French infantry. If they can just hold, my general, I believe, is close. Yeah, he's right here as I start shifting over 3 units, peeling them off. I am pushing France's flank. I believe I do a bayonet charge onto him. I'm just trying to hold this left flank, hold the brow of this hill. I send my cavalry in, trying to make sure that these guys cannot push this left flank. I have to hold here. He starts breaking these line infantry. I have some reserves. I have 4 units, and that is very, very huge. But here comes Austria, and my line over here is standing strong. I have 3 units here, 3 units here, and a unit here that are all able to form up here, and I think I can... what I'm thinking at this point is, okay, I can hold. He's not pushing very hard. He's not pushing hard enough. Now, over here, France is taking the building, unfortunately. I remember they took it, charged in some of the grenadiers, able to take it. Austria now is been pushed back across the river. So they have taken the village, and they're making a push. Austria, thankfully, is coming to my aid, but look at this battle, guys. We're just trying to hold here. I'm trying to get my reinforcements across. Here come my reserves. These guys can form square, and I'm just going to pour some volleys in on these French line infantry. And these guys are fresh, but they have been fighting. They've been marching. They were going through the trees, and you can see here these guys are being affected. I can't remember if I go in for a bayonet charge. I kind of wish I had, because these guys are wavering. And here comes Austria. Some cav went in to try to slow down my Austrian ally. And I believe he sent in some of his cavalry to kind of support that, as I'm doing okay on this side now. I reform my lines, guys, and look at this. Some fresh troops. I'm going to pour in some volleys at close range, and France is getting in trouble. France is majorly hurting now, as I am starting to push on the flank. This turned out to work in my favor, actually, as now this side is breaking, and I'm able to swing around, and France is about to start, they start falling back, because they just got, unfortunately, outnumbered. They pushed out alone. Their allies stayed in the city. They were able to push a little bit. I'm not going to say they didn't push at all, but they pushed a little bit, and that was really scary for a second for me. I was freaking out. I'm not going to lie. Multitasking. At this point now, we start pushing, trying to ensure that these guys cannot make it back to the city. We got to push them now. It's now or never, do or die, as it were. My general came super clutch in making sure that they did not break, and France was able to save the majority of their infantry. So they're going to fall back. I am going to start pushing on them. You can see I just was able to swing that, and for once the numbers worked against the French eliteness. So, artillery is going to get charged here by these hussars trying to get across and set up a defensive line. They can still hold this river. They just have to get it across before we do, and we start pushing to make sure they don't do that. Over here, Austria is starting to really feel the hurt. So we're starting to get really concerned here. He's fallen back a lot. And France starts, I believe, pushing. They've set up their artillery in the town, and we're winning on one side and kind of not winning on the other side. Over here, though, we start pushing on France. France trying to get across the river, sending in more cavalry to ensure that these guys cannot save all their infantry. Start doing some bayonet charges, charging these guys in the back. And this is what's going to save the day, guys. I should have done more bayonet charges, honestly. But here we go. Here's some more cav charging, making sure that this infantry does not come back. He is actually pushed across, using the distraction here to push across where France was a little weaker. Now over here, France is forming up at the river, and Austria is falling back. I think at this point, we decided, you know what, if we're going to fight this battle, we need to not engage over here. France is way stronger. They have some really good infantry. I mean, we're talking good infantry, guys. as you can see. It looks like champagne. But, so now France is trying to they're trying to pull it together. They're trying to fight for the streets. They are, I believe, falling back and trying to make a stand. They have this building over here, I believe. And some reinforcements from France may be good. France making a very strong push across this river. So they have decided they're not going to wait to see how the other side of this battle wins. They are pushing. And Austria is going to fall back to this hill. They definitely do not have the advantage here. Cav from France also pushing across. Maybe going to catch some Ulanen out. Possibly. But yeah, France has got to defeat this army and then swing around and hit our flank. Some cav charge going in. Cav charge. Ooh, some lancers are not going to... excuse me. Not going to do very well against... those French cav units. So you can see here, guys, we have pushed across. We just have the masses. And unfortunately, France doesn't have numbers at all. Like, at this point, the numbers are not going to work in their favor. So they're trying to fall back. Unfortunately, like I said, he didn't see the units in the trees. It looked weaker with the cav engagements. It was actually a really wise push. Just the intel was a little off. So France is pushing here, and Austria needs to maybe make a stand here. They are starting to lose units and not even pour some volleys in. Over here, France is starting to make some pushes. I think they realize that it's either defensive or offensive, and they have decided to go offensive. Marching the Grand Armée across. There's only 2 units. They're going to actually flank them. This is a really good move here. As a general, some other units. So, going to start pushing across here. France is pushing. Now, he is, of course, sending his units across as we obviously won this massive battle, just dealing with whatever cav is left. Oh my goodness, look at all of this heavy cav. That is just going to be crushing this infantry. Nope, he broke. And I have some reserves here. He's pushing up his infantry, and France is just trying to make a last stand here in the streets, unfortunately. They don't have a whole lot they can, unfortunately, do, as we have definitely taken this town on the left side. Now, there's still some infantry kind of sitting out. We have some heavy cav, but we need to hurry because Austria is in trouble. Austria is in a lot of trouble, actually. They need to stretch their lines out. They need to do some double-stacked lines because they are hurting. Over here, some cavalry some infantry from Austria came over to help, and they're doing some bayonet charges. Unfortunately, they're probably going to lose here, although maybe not. These guys were able to hold and do a back charge, and this may actually hold these, 3 units of French. We just had a lot of infantry. I still see that Austria is finally making a stand here. Finally making a stand. They have units on the flank who are going to be able to flank them, and France is probably going to have to push back across and do a defensive battle. As you can see, we are just mad pushing on this town, taking the town center. I think this is the town center. It looks like a town center, you know. The only problem is there's cav here, and we don't have a lot of guys that can form square. So a nice, juicy cav charge could break a lot of us. And on perfect timing, as now these cuirassiers are going to charge across. He has some men in this building as well who are going to do some charge. He's going to... Oh, this hurts. This hurts my soul. To see all this cavalry. And these masses I have are just scrambling to try to reform. I just can't form up in time, and he's going to just destroy these units. Now, I think, going to charge, form a square, maybe? I'm actually not sure what I'm doing here. Kingston does not know what past Kingston was doing. Oh no, I form a square here. And I start doing some point-blank range. Unfortunately, putting a square here is actually going to cause a morale debuff because they're going up against a square. Over here, it looks like France has definitely decided to fall back. That is because there's a massive flanking force. And now they are trying to maybe hold onto this part of this town center. They have this LOC. I think they maybe are going to leave it with all the dead in it. My goodness. The slaughter. The slaughter. Now I do have my heavy cav here, and we're trying to hopefully catch these French before they get back across, which is really wise because they can't move very fast. And yeah, this is a mess. This cav just kept charging me. But here goes the heavy cav going in on this cav charge against this infantry. They're stuck on the river. They're going to be slow. They're going to be clumsy. And here goes all of this infantry and cavalry to make sure these guys do not come back. Now, the rest of the French line, thankfully for them, was able to pull back. And they have some cavalry, which is going to do some counter charges. Infantry over here holding on this side, but look at this. We are just pouring through the side of this town now that this French faction is gone over here. Going in for a general as well. I think we are getting chewed up by some infantry that is sitting in this building, unfortunately. And these are grenadiers that can form square. So it was really wise. He left his cav here, made me have to advance to him. And then, boom, out of nowhere, just starts pouring in the volleys, every shot telling here. It was very unfortunate. Pains me to see it, so I'm not going to look. France here is still trying to save it. I give him props for really, really fighting here. Trying to go in for the good fight, but cav everywhere is just harassing them, just not letting France retreat. As you can see here, I think my cav breaks. They are exhausted. They're going up against some dragoons, and they're gonna die. Fight for the riverbed. Fighting for the riverbed, am I right? So we got some squares here, unfortunately, that I did not notice, and at this point I was just pushing. I felt the initiative was growing. Now I do push over here now, and also charge in a bayonet charge, but this is not going to go very well for me. These infantry are just going to shoot me to pieces. I was still hoping that the cav would charge, and so I got to bring up some of my reserves here, make sure that we don't get flanked, as we are still pushing on France's flank, getting some flanking fire. We have artillery here that is in an excellent position. You can be able to get some really, really good shots. And this is a street fight, guys. This is a street fight. If there ever was one. Got a bayonet charge coming in on the side and some artillery who are going to start doing some real damage. Unfortunately, he also shot his own men, but this is still going to hurt. We've defeated Austria, retaken the building that we lost so long ago. And now France is on their last leg. They still have some units in this town center. They have cav coming in and just wrecking my back lines, unfortunately. I was sending over some units that could form square because it was just an unfortunate, a series of unfortunate events that my units just lost out here. I left them, abandoned them, whatever you want to call it. But I do have some units watching the back lines, not them. These guys, I hope that these guys turn around. Still going in, trying to kill these French that are holding in this second town square. Doing an excellent job of holding. We have some units over here who I hope turn around soon because I need them to. Yeah, we got some line infantry going in on a bayonet charge. I think I pulled these guys back and bayonet charged them over here. At this point, it's just a last desperate stand in the city, which you don't see very often. Oh, this pains me to see this. These guys weren't facing the right way. I think I thought they were... Oh, no, this is my ally. I think I told him, hey, you know, face the other direction. They're right there. I keep getting Austria and myself mixed up. So France is still trying to sneak around here. Can get some good shots here. Get some really good shots here. Here's some infantry. Yeah, I do a bayonet charge, taking out the artillery on two sides, and France is starting to really fall back, really hurting here. I don't think they have a whole lot left, and at this point it's just, like I said, a desperate stand for the center. I think I did a... Ooh, my goodness. This is what close range does, guys. To both sides. These guys are just both fighting. These are some really good infantry, though, so I think I should be able to hold. These are grenadiers, though, so I'm not going to do very good. My general is close by, and I also have some infantry coming in, but these guys are wavering, probably because they just have generally lost the battle. And at this point, it is over.
The men are fatigued, sir, and must rest a while.
If I remember correctly, we just have to clean up the rest of these units, and this was a fun battle. Not necessarily the hardest fought battle you could have, but it was a very fun battle. I really enjoyed it. I really thought I was going to die for a little bit here. I mean, it was just... If I hadn't had these infantry in these trees to hold them, they would have pushed my whole flank. I would have been... My whole flank turned. I think we probably could have done it still with the allies that I had over here coming to help. But it was a very, very, very strong move that kind of scared me. And with my inexperienced, non-multitasking side, you know. So now I think I finally take this, or he takes this building. I'm pulling up my infantry because we have some units right here. Last stand. They advance, and I think he advances to fight them, and they just kind of duke it out for a little bit. So we'll let this run its course. Now, guys, this video was from my live stream on Saturday, I believe. Or maybe not. I can't remember, actually. But I do live stream every Saturday. Play a couple rounds of NTW3. You'd be more than welcome to join me, play some games, or just hop by and say hi. I mean, it's a lot of fun, either way. Now, I do go with this LSC because we wanted to make sure we had the LSC victory just in case, you know, the timer ran out. We have 13 minutes left. I think he goes for a bayonet charge, which this is why you don't do bayonet charges. Perfect example here. You guys get shot as they're rushing up, and they will break. More bayonet charges, but yeah, this is over. Now a general can definitely help. As this whole flank from France is running.
We have taken a building, sir.
Yeah, we took this other building, just moving over here. It's over. I think they have an artillery piece like way over here, so we just have to fast forward. They did get shelled. I mean, unfortunately, this artillery up here was shooting over here, and they did shell it, and they really hurt these guys a lot. But they are undaunted. Undefeated. So, like I said, this was a very fun one. I think we just rush over there and bayonet and cav charge them. I love this map. I would love to see what would happen if you get a really good, really good French defending force for the town. Try holding, you know. I think that would be a really challenging game. To finish it up, we have a general on general duel. And look at this. Johann Smidge going up against Jean de... So infantry's not far behind, but my general wants some glory here. He wants the glory for himself. Although my general may die, actually. My general, I think, single-handedly takes on so much of this force here. I think I inspired him. Hello, artillery. It's a beautiful map, though, you know. Alright, we gotta fast forward again, because this takes a while. Yep, here comes the friendly fire. Ah, my general single-handedly defeats all of these guys. Look at that. Go, General. My goodness. He is a champ. Well done. Alright, so like I said, the cores was a lot of fun. I definitely would encourage it. Chain coming off with the team carry, getting the most kills, going up with Kylie, kind of almost equal in kills. Look at that. Yeah, I'm kind of curious how many kills my general got. If it shows him. No, that's not him. It must not show the general. There he is. He got 43 kills. My artillery, I believe, got a lot of kills, as well as my cav. You can see those guys got thrown in. Got a ton of the kills I got. But, yeah, it was a lot of fun. Yeah, if you have any replays that you thought were particularly fun or interesting or close, go ahead and send them to me through Discord or email if you want to, and I will try to get them posted. I enjoy seeing a good battle. I don't think there's anything else. Thank you guys for joining me. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Stay safe, and I will catch you all in another video.